Hey everyone, my name is Isaac, and welcome back to another Bloxburg speed build. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a traditional Texas suburban house. This house was made by Perry Homes. I'll link the original floor plan and builder in the description below. So right off the bat, I don't claim this floor plan. Though, with every house that's part of this suburban series that I'm doing, the floor plans would have to be modified just a little bit in order to make it feasible for the in-game experience. So while it's not a direct copy, or maybe it is a direct copy but the proportions are maybe a little different, it's just so that this house can work as a Bloxburg house. And I say this just so that you guys are aware that I am aware that this is not really an original creation. Basically, if you didn't hear my announcement, I am creating 15 suburban homes that are actually real-life houses, translated them into the Bloxburg environment, and posted them as tutorials. Now, these 15 floor plans are carefully selected floor plans by me that I think are good floor plans, and I want to share them with you guys. The idea that I'm not going to furnish or decorate the insides of 3 of the houses, because 3 of the houses are going to be model houses, each of them representing the different collections I've divided this series into: the Washington collection, Texas collection, and the Connecticut collection. My last release was the Washington model house, and now quite obviously here we have the Texas model house. The other 12 houses that I didn't mention as the model homes will also be available for speed build tutorials, but I'll only be building the layout and the exterior. That's it. No landscaping, no interior. I'll place just basic doors and maybe just windows so you get an idea on where to place those. But technically that has more flexibility because I'm not giving you a stronger recommendation on what to do or how I'm building it. But I will show you how to build the exterior for those. Now, when it comes to this house, it has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, pretty much everything my last house had. So, you know, the laundry room, a large pantry, kitchen. This time we have a sunken great room because when I was making this house, I didn't want to make a really big vaulted ceiling with the gable roof. Because of how big and tall the gable roof is, or I guess how tall the pitch is, it's really impractical for costs, especially for this series, because I'm trying to keep everything in this series a reasonable price. Doing a vaulted ceiling with custom structurals would be very costly, or at least very tedious to do. The premise of this series is supposed to be easy to make floor plans and tutorials for a general audience, for the masses. That's why I picked traditional homes and craftsman homes as a umbrella of suburban to release. So for those people who critique me for not putting in as much effort into these homes as maybe my last 3 houses before I released the Washington model house, I mean, you're right, but I'm doing it intentionally, knowing what I'm getting into. Because there have been some critiques about me just releasing these suburban houses in general. Here's the thing. For those who are saying, Isaac, how do you come back from your break and you're still doing the bare minimum? Which, for the person who said that in the comments, why are you saying that like I just came back from break when I've been back technically since December 2022? That is when I released my Hillside Scandinavian house, which took 6 months to make. 6 months of drafting, measuring, planning, and deciding what to do with how to scale this or how to put my ideas into concept, what references I'm going to synthesize into a homogeneous product, alright? How to combine reference points smoothly into a singular project, like what I did with my mid-century modern house I released back in July. That project took a year to make, actually. I slowly worked on it over the past year, from my hiatus era to coming back with my Hosta Scandinavian house, and ever since then up until this July. And all that time of planning on the measurements, how to build the exterior, how to decorate this, what concepts am I going to use, what concept am I going for, and the concept of synthesizing multiple styles together. We can see the mid-century modern, but also subtle elements of Spanish architecture with the barrel ceilings in parts of the house. Maybe even some of the texture choices on the interior design part, and even just the physical structure might allude to sort of a Spanish type feel. But there's also a lot of industrial tones going on in that build as well. And here's the thing. How do you want to say that I'm still doing the bare minimum? Like, were you not there for my first 3 houses of season 7? You know, the ones I just described? Like, it sounds like you're disregarding the amount of planning and organization and thought, creative thought into those builds, just because you see me now doing the Suburban series, where it's true, I'm not putting as much effort into these builds because I'm literally just translating floor plans into Bloxburg this time around. I'm still going to make houses for season 7 where it's going to be much more creative and unique than what I'm doing here, but it's obvious that people don't really care for what I want to make. So here is something that people generally might want, which are traditional and suburban homes. You know, a little bit of craftsman, there's going to be a modern farmhouse, there's going to be a colonial looking house in this series as well. What's the issue here? And it's not like you can still argue that when I'm still putting so much more planning and organization, even with this, even with these suburban houses in this new series. It's because I wasn't doing any sort of planning or organization at all before my break. So that's why I'm a little insulted, Mahari, when you say that, oh, you're still doing the bare minimum. Even if planning out everything is the bare minimum, give me credit, because I wasn't planning anything at all. I was literally freestyling, building, like on camera from my tutorials before break. So even if I'm coming back and making a whole new collection of builds where it's not going to be as creative as my mid-century modern house, I'm still putting more planning and organization, which is still more effort than what I did prior to my break. So you can't really say that. It's not accurate. Now, whether or not you actually like the houses here, that's up to everyone else and you. That's personal tastes, basically, right? But I'm just doing what I've been known for. You know, craftsman houses. Have you seen my channel? The suburban craftsman homes are very much just Washington craftsman homes. So I'm gonna reintroduce that because that's what I'm known for. The Texas vibe, like what I'm doing here, I'm bringing that back. That's what I'm known for. So if you want me to build like other builders, just say that. Because you commented on the traditional summer home by Lunarzia saying, this is what we want from you. I don't want to bite their style. Those are their own styles. They can do it very well. Because even though that I think it looks great, it looks amazing, I myself am not actually interested in that general style, like the traditional houses. Which is why it's easier to go back to a former shell of myself, a past form of my channel, and kind of do it better. So I'm sorry if you think that, yeah, my last suburban house that I just released like 18 days ago looks a lot like my real life house. Yeah, because that's that's kind of the point. That's what I was known for, you know, houses that look like that. So with the amount of planning and organization, that proves that there's much more effort being put into these houses. Also, because of the Transform Game Pass, I'm able to actually clean up the edges of the gutters or the trimmings of the exterior and inside as well to make it more clean looking. Like, the fact that I'm even doing that just shows that I care enough to like make it look clean, make it look real and nice and neat, and not like the beams like being a little bit off, like what's it called, like just a little bit off from like the other beam, so like there's a weird gap in the corner of the roof gutter or the trimmings inside. Like, I'm still paying attention to the small details here, even if the house itself is bland or maybe plain. That's still putting more effort than last time. Because if you want to say I'm still doing the bare minimum, I would not be organizing my footage into folders or making floor plan layouts like an actual label floor plan. Because prior to my break, I was just taking screenshots of the overhead view of the house in build mode. This time I'm making real like grid floor plans. Oh, but that's bare minimum. Okay, if I was doing bare minimum, you know, that the houses here would look much more messy and sloppy than what you see on video. You know, the very clean corners for the most part, the top and bottom framings of the window being slightly extruded to make it more realistic and more detailed. Oh, but that's bare minimum. Bare minimum is building an empty house. I get it. But it's because artistically, I don't want to build these houses. But I do want to build them just enough to offer it to my audience. Because I know that a lot of y'all subscribe to my channel before I went on break. And that's what y'all like. So here it is, the Suburban series. This is the Texas house plan number 7. Technically plan number 2 for the Texas collection, but it's house number 7 in the Suburban series. So I hope you enjoy this house.